Okay, what's up guys? Welcome back to Nick and Cameron YouTube channel. It's Jacob behind the camera. We're back in Cameron's garage. We've been here before. Cameron is here. And today we're going to be working on his 1986 ATC 200X. And in the last video, you saw us try to fix the head gasket on this thing. And
turns out it kind of has it was kind of a bad head gasket. It had like weird little eyelets that were in the
so
wrong
yeah,
place.
basically had eyelets that kind of seem to not fit correctly on the kind of head where it goes. So this is the head gasket that Cameron picked up. It's a Vertex Winderosa, formerly Winderosa. It's like a composite kind of like pressed gasket, and it doesn't have these. This is kind of how it's supposed to be here. Here is where the eyelets are, so it's kind of like thicker, and it doesn't seem to fit. And also, we didn't have a torque wrench last time.
So I got this.
So we got a torque wrench.
What is this?
Lebanon or
yeah,
Lexavon torque wrench. It was like Cameron said it was like $30 on Amazon, and
yeah, it was rated really good. So we'll see how it works.
So and then also last time, if you guys watched the video, you know that this cam journal, this is the one that comes off because the other one's built into the head, the valve train. It's cracked in two pieces. Yeah, so
this is a used one. It's not in like the best of condition, but it should work, hopefully.
You picked it up.
If this one doesn't work, I can always buy like a performance one that's like kind of a reproduction. Those aren't very expensive, but
this is an OEM one that came off of an 86 200X.
It came off an 87 actually.
Oh, okay.
But they're the same engine.
Okay.
As far as I know.
So we're gonna get into the gas tank.
And then we'll take off kind of all the tubes and connecting stuff. The compression release, we'll take off that, and then we'll take off basically just like each section of the head down to where we just see the top of the piston. But before we start taking stuff off, we gotta get to the dead center after we take off the gas tank. So take off the gas tank.
We already unbolted it, but
yeah,
took off the petcock.
and then we'll probably take out. We'll come back when everything's. We're have everything disconnected and we're taking off the uppermost part of the jug.
Okay, guys, we're back. As you guys can see, we've taken some stuff off. We're down to the valve train here in the cam, and you can see this is the cracked journal here. It's pretty bad. It's literally two pieces. We are having a little trouble getting our stuff dead center because we believe that last video, if you guys watched that video where we basically just tried to do this with no prior information, we may have messed up the timing, and that could be the reason why it's not actually running.
I want to say it's advanced, or
we have basically the cam one gear or one tooth to forward or back, because that's the reason that basically I think that the intake valve or the exhaust valve is basically opening as it's compressing, and that's why we have like no compression, which it could still be the head gasket is incorrect or whatever, and we're still going to change the head gasket, but that could be part of our problem. So anyways, though, we've gotten this taken apart.
At this point, what we have to do is we have to take off this. We have to take off the header.
The exhaust, no, that's the exhaust. That's the intake manifold.
Yeah.
And then we take the air box back a little bit, and then
we have to take off.
We take off the header, and then
also the cam chain tensioner.
That's the chain tensioner down there. And this is what we have off so far. This is like the breather tube. This is the compression release cover. This is nuts for the intake manifold, one side of it, and then this is the first piece that comes off, and this is the breather tube here. And then this is the second piece that comes off that covers the valve train. And under here is actually the rockers. We showed this in the last video, but I'll show you guys again. And there's that cam journal. This one has a little bit of kind of damage to it, so that could be part of the problem. But
it's fine. This
thing should run with that piece. You know, it's not like heavily damaged. It's not like the bearing is toast. So
yeah.
So we'll basically get the rest, probably take the header off next, and then basically take off that old cam journal, and then get to work taking off that kind of the cylinder. So
yeah,
we'll check in yet again once we have more stuff off.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we are back, and we've taken obviously the cylinder off, the entire head. So we've got the chain strung up with some zip ties, and we took the head gasket off. This is the old head gasket we tried to use, and it seems as though we are kind of right about our suspicion of the eyelets.
They were in the
So
wrong
if
place.
you look at the eyelets, let it focus. They're actually kind of flattened. Right, you can see right there. So these eyelets obviously are making interference with the head, the bottom of the head sitting flush. Isn't going to sit flush if it's basically smushing down on those eyelets, and that's why it wasn't getting any sort of compression, because this is basically like a spacer and it's just squeezing air out between the head where the head gasket should be. So this one, though, we already showed earlier, doesn't have eyelets, as you guys can see.
Has the kind of pinch points.
Kind of pinch points, which is how the OEM was, the old one was. And it's a composite one. So
this is the cam journal we were talking about that's broken. So it's in two pieces.
Earlier. And where's that new one we got?
In the bag. Nope, it's not. Right up there by the mount.
This is the new used one that Cameron picked up here.
Pretty similar condition.
Pretty decent condition. This one's a little shinier, a little cleaner, so maybe this one went a little longer without oil changes or something. And a little bit of scoring. That one has some scoring too, but how much was this?
It was like $40.
So kind of expensive for a little part, but it is a precision part, and you do literally have to have
And it
this
is
thing to run.
OEM.
So we are going to throw the new head gasket on, and
Get everything back together and try to get it all torqued down to spec.
so we will show you the specs that we find, and we'll show you a little bit of.
We're actually using the specs from the one of the rebuild videos of an exact year. It's
86.
86. So this guy on YouTube his channel's called 11 ATV Gallery. He is the only one I could find that's actually putting one of these back together or doing anything on them.
So if you want to know more about like putting other stuff back together and rebuilding,
I had to rebuild.
check his channel
him.
out. He's pretty cool.
I found him because I had to rebuild the rear axle. Like I had to put in new bearings in the carrier, which is very hard to find a carrier. He's the one that actually, like his videos actually showed me where I can find a new carrier, but it would be like $450.
It was like a billet carrier, like
Yeah.
for a Motorsport one, and
It because these have like a weird like kind of like a pinch, like it's super weird how these axles are held together. It's like a retaining ring on directly on the axle, and then like you're squeezing against the retaining ring. It is super weird, but basically,
check his channel out though.
check his channel out. He's done like a couple of bikes.
And he probably,
one
to
of
be
these
honest,
from the ground up.
yeah, and he probably has a better video of this if you guys want to.
Yeah, so we're getting all our torque specs from him. So if you're gonna yell at us like, "Oh, that's the wrong torque spec," yell at him, not me.
Yeah, because we looked up and we couldn't find anything for the 86 year specifically, because a lot of torque specs I looked up and found are for the 83 to 85, which is a different motor.
Because this model was only made 86 and the first half of 87 with a different tank decal, and they did not sell very many of them. They sold, I think, like 19,086, and I want to say like 10,000 in 87. So these are actually very rare. And at the time, they were the top of the line race models. So I just wanted to return it to its glory.
Okay, so we're going to get back to work on putting this head back together, and we'll check in once we have probably this head back on and we're torquing it down. Okay guys, we threw on the head and we got all the cap nuts finger tight here, and we got these two on the side here, and we got the four. So Cameron, would you explain the order of tightening these guys?
Okay, so you go this one, and this is 1, and then you go to 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then this cap nut is 5, and then this cap nut is 6.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to go around 2 times, and each time we're going to tighten each one in that order, like a half a turn or maybe a quarter of a turn. Basically just kind
get
of
them snug, not quite tight.
Because we're then going to go back for the third time and hit it with the torque
wrench.
And
these ones get torqued to 20, and the cap nuts get torqued to, I think, like 7 to 10.
These ones can be also, well, these are 20 to 22, but we're going to do 20, and our torque wrench only goes down to 10, so we're going to be doing 10 on the 2 lower ones.
Yeah.
So, Cameron, you can get started. Just go in order and we'll show you guys. He's on that number 1. He's doing about a quarter of a turn.
And down to
And then you're gonna do these guys down here. Those 4 on top are 12 millimeters. These 2 lower ones are 10.
Oh, these aren't even.
Yeah, these aren't even tight. I couldn't finger tight them in, so you just got to get them down to where they're kind of snug, and then he can do the quarter turn. There we go.
Go back over it again.
Now we're going to be doing the second round here of tightening. All those are snug. Now we're going to go down to the low runs, and then next we're going to be doing that torque wrench. Okay, now they're all snug, and hopefully we did not overtime them.
Yeah, hopefully. Alright, so let's see, do we have an extension? I got a shorter extension. Let's come over to my Craftsman mechanics tool set.
Up to 10 or the 12.
12. It is set at 20 foot-pounds. So
Can't really see, but this thing is set at 20 foot-pounds if you guys couldn't see. Now we're gonna see for that click. Okay.
maybe it needs more, couple more.
Apparently we did not tighten it much. That's okay though. The torque wrench does work as a normal ratchet still. So. Oh, did that click?
No, I had to readjust it. I'm gonna go back over with the regular ratchet real quick. Just kind of share it up.
Apparently we did not tighten them quite enough. Maybe try a half turn rather than quarter turns when you guys go around. 20 foot-pounds to us doesn't really sound like a lot, but we've never really used a torque wrench before, so I guess we don't really have a good gauge. Probably because he's using this tiny ratchet. Can't really get much torque on these.
Try it
We're
again.
going to be trying the torque wrench. Or we have this thing set wrong.
There we go.
Did that click?
I think so.
I don't think it clicked.
Just trying to be gentle.
Are you sure this thing set is right?
I think so.
Dude, are you...
What? It's on 0 at 20, so it's 20.
Okay. Well... Thought we had it set right. Let's make sure though. Okay, got it set again. I don't know, maybe we're just super weak. This seems kind of weird. I don't know, we've never used a torque wrench before. I feel like we're just tightening the crap out of these. Ah, that is a click.
Yep, there we go.
Okay. 20 foot-pounds is a lot more than it sounds to us, but don't be afraid if you're really having to torque them. click. One more. There we go. There we go. Whew. That's kind of scary.
Be very gentle because I do not want to break this.
Yeah, breaking the studs off would suck. There we go. We got the click.
There we
Cool. Now we're going to be adjusting it down to 10 foot-pounds with these lower cap nuts.
Literally as far as it'll go.
These two 10 millimeters.
Let's try that. I think that's 7.
I don't think you're going to get it again.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 or now. There we go. Let's see.
I think it's clicking.
Try that one.
Yep, clicking.
Okay. So those
Just
ones
like-
are not nearly as much. So now we have that on, and we're gonna.
I'm gonna go over the top one more time just to make sure it stays. It still clicks. Just because like that's what the guy in the video did.
Yeah. So we're gonna double check these top ones. This is the most
I have it 10.
crucial part here of the entire thing, I'd say.
Yep. 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 All right. Those are all tight.
clicked. So
Whew. Should be good. We'll come back when we are putting on everything else. We'll come back when the cam chain is on, just because that's
Okay,
gonna be
so
a
next
lot
step is
we
we're
have to
gonna
have both hands.
putting on this cam chain. So yeah, we're gonna have to fiddle with it a lot. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay, guys, we are back here. We got the cam all put in place, and as you guys can see, we put some engine assembly lube on the bottom of the bearing and in here on the journal. This is the new one that Cameron bought. This is the assembly lube we got. Just picked this up. This Lucas Oil assembly lube, high performance. This isn't like super crucial, but seeing it used in basically every engine rebuilding video I've ever seen, so probably should use some sort of assembly lube. And we also put it on the chain here and all across, pretty liberally used. And so we're about to torque down the, oh yeah, and this thing is timed up now. I don't think you'll be able to see it too well, but if you guys can see the two marks,
little lines.
they need to be kind of parallel with, you guys can see this mating surface of the head here, on the top of the head. Those need to pair parallel, and that's what the cam position for top dead center. So you want the motor top dead center, and then that's how you time it for top dead center. So we are going to, now Cameron's going to torque down the bearing holder bolts here. So what is it, 7.3 to 10, right?
Yeah.
Foot-pounds of torque. And so our torque wrench obviously already only goes down to 10, so we're going to be doing 10 foot-pounds here. So Cameron's going to try the other one. Yeah. Evenly tighten. We didn't tighten them a whole lot before this. Just kind of finger tight.
There's one.
Just click.
There's
There
two.
we go. Those are tightened up. So next up, we're gonna be putting on this guy. So we'll probably just set her on there and torque it down, and once that's on, we will show you what it looks like. So, and we'll let you know the torque spec that we use on that as well. Okay, guys, we are back here. We just threw on the top part of the valve train here, the top end. This is the kind of shroud for the rockers, I would say. And these two nuts, these are the ones, well, these two bolts are the ones that hold down the other side of the camshaft from the top, and that's the same as the other ones that are under there. we just torqued them to 10 foot-pounds, and we threw on the compression release there. So we are gonna move on to putting on the cap. So I'm gonna be putting on this, or should we put on the motor mount first? I don't know.
We'll put the cap on first, and
We're
then
gonna be
put
putting
the motor
we'll
mounts
put
and
the
header,
top
or
on.
all the stuff.
Then we're gonna throw on the motor mount probably, and basically put the header on and assemble everything, and then we will see if it works. It seems to. Well, right now the spark plug's out, so we don't know if it has good compression, but and everything's kind of dismantled. So we'll basically start reassembling other stuff, and then we'll check back in probably once we have it all back together. Okay guys, we threw on the top end here, and got everything basically buttoned up, except for the header is not on yet, but that'll be done pretty soon, and the gas tank. So the cap, the 6 bolts around the cap, and kind of the top of the rocker cover, I don't know what you call that, but the top end, we torqued those to 10 foot-pounds, and then we threw everything back together, put the intake back on, and everything. So
it has compression now.
It has compression now,
but it has no spark.
No spark all of a sudden. So this thing used to run, surprisingly, even with kind of crappy compression. That was when the original head gasket was failing. So now it has no spark. That's probably because it's just been outside, kind of got wet. And so Cameron plans to probably get a new coil, and hopefully that fixes it. That's basically the first step of diagnosing the electrical problems. I know you can test a coil, so maybe we'll do some diagnosis. But yeah, no. So yeah, no, it has compression now. So if you guys have compression problems, this will fix it. Doing this head gasket this way will fix it. But now we have electrical problems, so thank you for watching our video, and please like and subscribe. Subscribing would mean a ton to us. As of making this video, we have like 150 subs, so that means thank you guys a lot. And check out our other videos, and we've already made videos on this vehicle and our quads and other stuff. So stay tuned for probably more content on this and a lot of other things. So
yep.
Thank you. Bye.
See you guys later.